Here we go. This is my front yard. 2.5 years into the making. This is what I've done so far. This is the fall. It's October 17th. I've got a bed started here. Just started. Lavender, rosemary, rosemary, rosemary. You see the culvert here. So this rosemary is trailing, and it will disguise the culvert. So it will eventually cover this. It's 4 feet wide, so it'll go 2 feet down here. You can imagine that 2 feet's about this far. So it's going to kind of disguise the culvert up in here, and it shouldn't interfere with the flow. If it does, I'll trim it. I shouldn't have to, though. It's more than 2 feet away. Plus, it's going to get super hot on the concrete in the summer. The lavender will just get big and screen. And here I'm going to have a Pride of Barbados and probably a Mexican bush sage and maybe some Blackfoot daisy along the edge. So this, as you can see, my sages are getting big. Man, I planted this guy from a 4-inch. This guy I planted from a 1 gallon. Gosh, this plant has really shot up in the last few months. And see more sages here in the side yard, and yeah, that's kind of coming together too. Look at that vantage point. Kind of looks good. There's more going in right here. There'll be some purple coneflowers going in next year. And let's see. What's really turned out to be nice is sitting in here on the bench and checking out the view from the shade. It is at least 5 degrees cooler under here in the summer. I watched the eclipse from under here, and I wasn't hardly sweating. And the eclipse was in the summer. I believe it was August, in the middle of the day. It's really nice up under here. There's a few things that need to go on, but like a few more things that need to happen. But overall, this is a beautiful canopy, and it's really like an outdoor room. You can see how close it drags on the ground there, and it's getting longer. It's getting more full on this side. And it's getting longer here too. I think it's reaching for the morning sun right here, so it's getting longer and thicker. Anyway, it's kind of a nice vantage point. Muleys in bloom. This was set up to be a little fall strip right here, and you can see it does look pretty good. Got the oranges and the 2 different purples layered and the pinks, along with the Yucca rostrata in the background. I've been watching the Yucca rostrata very closely. I know the yucca that everybody loves with the pink flowers. I hate that thing, and I hate it because it attracts flies. And so I've been watching this Yucca rostrata to see if it attracts flies. I've been wary of putting a yucca in my yard, but if you notice, your Yucca rostrata will attract flies. Or not Yucca rostrata, but your I can't remember what it's called. The yucca with the pink little things that come out. Anyway, got some Firecracker Ferns coming in here. This is a 4-inch I just planted. Deer snipped it a little bit, I see, but it's coming in nicely. You can see these were 4-inch. I planted these just probably February, I think, and they're getting nice and big. This is an evergreen, so it's going to continue growing. Got some spider eggs going on here. Now, a lot of people would be scared about that. You can even see the spider moving around. I don't know if the lens is going to pick it up properly. You can see him moving around in there, that little dark spot. But I want those guys. Spiders are good, and they keep aphids away. See this? This is an aphid-ridden plant, but I've got spider webs over here. So I know that the good guys are on the scene. We've got spiders, we've got ladybugs. This is tuberosa, milkweed, and it's native to Texas. This was grown from seed, and man, had I known how long it was going to take. This is year 2. Seriously, this is year 2, and it's like a foot tall. It's really bushy this year, which gives me high hopes for next year. Apparently, it takes 4 years to get 4 feet tall, so I'm expecting good things next year. I mean, it's not even 12 inches tall right now, so I'm not sure how it's going to get 4 feet tall in 4 years or in 2 more years, but whatever. So that's it. But I'm proud of that patch. It's going to get really big. All of it's going to be 4 feet tall, and it's butterfly food. but apparently it takes 4 years to grow from seed. Not ideal. Man, the Blackfoot daisy has done exactly what I wanted to. Just kind of, it blends in with the white here, and you kind of, so it really catches your eye, this whole white, because the transition, the hard white and this white, I really like it. Greg's Mist Flower is really filled in nicely. It's actually filled in too good. I've had to pull it back. It is destroying the four-nerve daisy. So four-nerve daisy is a tap-rooted plant, and I cannot easily transplant that. So I'm hosed there. I think it's eventually, one of them is going to get covered, I think. This patch is doing really nice, and I'm going to double the size of this patch over the winter. I love the four-nerve daisy. It's also an evergreen, and though it is really low, it'll add some structure to people walking on the path. This, I don't know, something stepped on this or something happened to this plant, but it 3/4 of it died, and then 3/4 of this one died too. I don't know, they're right next to each other. I wonder if that's coincidence. I wonder if this is maybe a marking spot or something. Oh, look, there's a little white butterfly on the Greg's Mist Flower. I have no idea what that is. No idea, but whatever. And they're all over the mist flower, which is fantastic. That's the reason I put it right next to the walkway, because I want butterflies all over it. I noticed that I will get butterflies hanging out on the other side of this bamboo muley, which is kind of cool. I kind of like that. Sometimes they'll be hanging out over here, but they love the mist flower. And this is a great addition. Succulent garden. So this one's in full bloom. That's really awesome. Look at the aloe bloom. That's really cool. And got a couple of herbs mixed in with the succulents. So I think that looks great. Sure, it could be better. And actually I've got about a dozen more to put in there. But that looks good so far. And another succulent growth that we did this summer. My ferns have been rearranged a little bit. I found that this plant was supposed to be a bog plant, and apparently I just gave it too much water. So I'm still having it over here, but I think I might add another one or get rid of it. I don't know, whatever, we'll see. The ferns look pretty good though, and these guys, I water twice a week. And you can see they've all got pots underneath them now. And so that's a big reason I only have to water them twice a week. In the winter, I only water them once a week, but in the summer, twice a week. Getting some succulents started right here. This will be a succulent pot too. It doesn't look like it'll get a lot of sun, but it actually gets a lot of morning sun. So that's key to the plant. Getting a good start in the day. Okay, Prado Barbados. Man, this stuff is really spiky, and great things from this are expected. It is awesome. This is only its 3rd year, and that means it's going to peak next year. Look at those 3. They look great. They're really spiky. They're a good contrast. I wanted spikes, and these are spikes that will not poke you. So that's what I'm trying to do as my accent. You know, a lot of people would put an agave as their accent, but agave has thorns, so it's really not good to put it next to a walkway. I wanted spikes next to a walkway, and this one happens to have just amazing flowers and spikes combined. It's awesome. Also, these bean pods, the ones that twist like this, that's really cool. I just think that's a cool feature. This Esperanza, it's its 1st year. So I'm not so sure what it's going to do. I just put it in like 2 months ago, I think. And it's really grown. I fertilized the heck out of it. It bloomed once, kind of a little bit. But again, it's not really warm enough. And it does have some new growth on it, but not a lot of buds on it. So who knows? Next year, this will be a wall of yellow. Oxblood daisies. Those came up really nice. Yeah, it's just a nice looking setup, I think. This is much more pink than I want it to be. I want it to be more red. I don't know why it's so pink, but I don't like that. I do have a pink sage over there, and I know they cross-pollinate easily, but surely it will turn more red. It's kind of frustrating. This is awesome. I love these sages together. And the Yucca strata. the Flamacanthus, almost forgot the name, and the muleys. The muleys look really good. Finally getting some good muley action this year. Last year was pretty sad. The Mexican bush sage, one of my faves. Love that plant. I think I need more of it actually, especially in the fall. The spring bloom is really nice, but the fall bloom is almost fuzzy. I don't know if you can even tell, but it's just awesome. And the Jerusalem sage are trucking along. You know, they are what they are. These things apparently can get 5 feet tall. They're growing pretty slow. I sure hope they get 5 feet tall. That would be fantastic because I want a big yellow right there. But I know it's only going to be for a short lived, but the flowers are just amazing. Put in some Copper Canyon daisy. The smell of this is very interesting. Some people say that they hate it, but I've also heard it can be used in potpourri. So really cool. And then, man, just check that out. This used to be all grass. So I'm kind of digging it so far. I don't know if you can see all the bees that are just everywhere on this thing. Butterflies joining the party. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Got the humongous plumbago, the Yucca rostrata, and I got these 2 Copper Canyon daisies are going to be a wall of yellow against the silver in the fall. So I'll still be able to access walking through the middle here, but regardless, Yucca rostrata is an awesome addition. This one's not so spiky. So you can, I don't know if I caught that accurately, you can see I'm moving it. Now if I come in and I do this, it'll give me a little poke. It'll let me know that I'm poking it. But if I come in and just move it like that, it's no problem. So it's very flexible. That's the reason this is here. It's a spike and I don't like thorny things. This is super duper thorny, as you can see, but very, very flexible. This is one plumbago. I very strategically placed this here based on information from a professional gardener. Man, has it turned out well. I've never seen a plumbago. I've never seen one plumbago that big. I've seen multiples, but never one. That's awesome. That was a cutting, by the way. And then, you know, my favorite sage. I just love these. My favorite just because it keeps going and going and going all year long. This thing blooms continuously. I think it shuts down for maybe 6 weeks, and then it's just going. Now, see, I put this mist flower here in the sunshade because I wanted to do an experiment. There are 3 mist flowers in the sun. There are 1 mist flowers in the sunshade. So far, this one has gotten more butterflies. It appears as though the butterflies prefer the sunshade plant versus the full sun plants. I've got some full sun mist flowers in the back too, so I don't even know what to think about that. They're supposed to be in the full sun, but maybe they prefer the shade a little bit. This guy's not done. Chili pekins are looking pretty good, except for 2 of them. Now I had to get the anti-deer device. Gosh, I hope it doesn't go off because it's pointed right at me. And it works really well. It's highly effective. I planted these from 4-inch plants. They're not that much bigger because the deer ate them for so long. Now that I've got this robo defense thing, they've gotten quite a bit bigger, but they're getting more bushy. I think the main stems got eaten so much that they're getting extremely bushy. So I can see new growth on all of them, and they've put on that. All of them put on flowers. All of them put on seeds, but they're extremely small. So that lets me know that they're healthy enough to put on flowers and seeds. They're strong enough to do that. This one has put on flowers and seeds too, and also has some caterpillar damage, you can tell. This one's nice and big. It hasn't been touched, except once this year it was touched. But this was just a volunteer that I planted at the beginning of the year. You can see it's got a seed on it. You know, it's not quite mature yet. But, you know, these are evergreen, so they will continue to grow. And especially as these trees, because this is these are elm trees. As these elm trees continue to drop their leaves, these are going to get more and more sun. So the winter should be good. This guy, nah, sadly, He is not faring well. There is a possum that loves to come through here at night, and I think that possum's getting it. I don't think it's the raccoons. I see them, but there's a little walkway right here, and yeah, something's getting him. This guy too gets snipped a little bit, but it's not too bad. And the Yopon holly, man, this thing has grown super slow. This is where I bought it, right here. This year, it's grown. That's this right here is 8 inches, by the way. So it's grown 7 inches. Oh, man, that's slow. 7 inches in a year. I feed this thing. The armadillos aerate it for me. See, look at that. They aerate it for me all the time. I don't even have to come out here and aerate this berm. They do it. Look at it. They do it for me. So it's fantastic. I let the armadillos actually air out the berms. They get in here real nice and they pull out all the stuff. So you're supposed to like put a pitchfork in the back of these things and turn them. Yeah, the armadillos do it. So this robo thing is pretty awesome. I'm not even going to show you how it works because I'll get sprayed. So yeah, this is what I've done in a year and a half. Two and a half years, sorry. And there'll be wildflowers in the spring. Obviously, this is just the fall garden. But it's cut down my mow time from 4 hours, which was the very first time I mowed it. It took me 4 hours to mow and weed eat this lawn, to an hour and a half. That's awesome. And I get all this stuff too. This path is going to be made smaller. I'm going to pinch it in right here on the advice of a designer. Pinch it in, make it smaller, pinch point right there. And so that'll give me a much bigger border. So we've got more coming, but it's all going to be done in the spring. All right, that's all.